"You better be right about this," he whispered. Allison shook her head. For all his brilliance, and regardless of how she felt personally about him, she recognized that he was brilliant. Garrett's transparency could border on the inane. What he was really saying was that if the lunatic Allison's research had tracked to this location wasn't holed up in this backwoods cabin, if the FBI's hostage rescue team had been activated and deployed for no reason, then the blame would drop on her like a bag of bricks. If Sam Craw was in there, Allison knew it would be Garrett standing in front of the cameras taking credit for the HRT mission and the capture of America's most wanted fugitive. She pushed the thought away. As long as they caught the bastard and ended his multi-year killing spree in the southeast, she didn't give a damn who got the credit. Allison moved her binoculars. The tactical team was in place around the cabin, peering through scopes with infrared capabilities. If there was someone hiding in the shadows of a window or doorway, they wouldn't be hiding for long. On some signal unseen by Allison, the men began a steady, crouched advance to the building. She realized she was holding her breath, so she blew out her air slowly between pinched lips.
"Relax, McNeil,"
Garrett muttered.
"You're making me nervous."
The two members of the tactical squad approaching from the front reached the deck that wrapped around the front of the building. As they strode across it, the old wood floorboards groaned. The men froze. The seconds stretched out. Allison became suddenly aware of the hum of insects in the air around her, the dampness of her own skin, the sound of a bird calling in the distance. All of her senses were wired tight. An entire year of her life was wrapped up in the next few seconds, and if she'd got it wrong, Garrett would have the ammo he'd been looking for to get her out of his unit once and for all. But she wasn't worried about herself. What really bothered her was the chance that she had it right, that this was Craw's hideout, but that somehow they had spooked him and he'd already slipped away. If that had happened, he'd be hundreds of miles away by tomorrow, scouting for his next victim as he traveled. Movement in the cabin. Just a flutter, like a bird trapped in a cage. Only her intuition told her it was more than a bird. It had been an arm, a human arm. Sam Craw. Based on the lack of movement from the tactical team, she realized no one else had seen it. "I've got movement," she whispered into her mic. "Window to the right of the front door. An arm."
"I didn't see anything,"
Garrett whispered. Allison ignored him. The men around the cabin responded immediately, reorienting to the front door. Guns pointed at the window. One of the men produced a mini-ram, a high-impact brute force breaching tool. Coordinating with his partner, he crouched next to the door while the other man readied a flashbang grenade. There was a pause, as if someone had pressed a button on a TV remote. Everyone was in place. The air seemed to still, as if the world knew something was about to happen. Allison had her binoculars trained on the window where she'd seen the movement. If Craw was inside, then the nightmare was almost over. She'd know in a few seconds whether that was the case or not. But in that second, she saw the movement again. Only this time she knew something was wrong. It was a man's arm. She saw it clearly this time. But it was too stiff. The color was off. And attached at the shoulder she saw a coil of wire. A mannequin arm on a spring, meant to make them think someone was inside. It was a trap. Chapter 2. Allison shouted into her mic, "No, wait!" As the words came out, one man threw the flashbang grenade through the window and the other reared back with the ram. The grenade went off inside, lighting up all the windows on the lower floor, the percussive force loud even from where Allison watched. The other man swung the ram forward with enough force to smash through the decrepit door. But the second it hit the old wood, boom! A bomb detonated inside the cabin. All four walls blew out, pulverized by the blast.